How you guys doing? Chris Bedwood here with a lesson on slapping and popping on the guitar, or thumping and plucking, whatever you feel like calling it. This was brought about because I asked on Facebook if you guys wanted a lesson, and a lot of you did, and it's amazing, and I'm glad that you want me to teach you something. So just a few words. First of all, thank you for, just being cool people. And also, just a little bit of strategy with this technique. It's something I consider to be a niche technique, really. In other words, it's a technique that, as a guitar player, you never have to actually learn to do it to be a great guitarist or great musician. I kind of put it in the category of sweep picking or two-hand tapping. That sort of stuff, where, like, if you learn it, awesome. If you don't, that's okay too. So big thing to understand is that we are trying to emulate a bass player here. We're trying to do what a bass player does, which is, being very percussive and such. However, we don't have the register of a bass player. We do not have the feel of a bass player. They're just too low of register. It just vibrates through the body. Guitar is a mid-range instrument. It just doesn't have the ability. So if you're doing this in the mix of a band or musicians or recording, you got to be really strategic of where you place it, because you might find that when you're doing it alone, you're sounding really percussive and awesome, but the minute you're with a band, you get lost and you don't get that percussiveness. And like I said, it's because of the register that we're in as guitar players. With that said, you can definitely use it in creative ways. I wouldn't consider myself an expert at slapping and popping. I think there are tons of other players who supersede me in this ability, but I pretty much learned it by watching bass players and then finding out about other guitarists who do it, namely Tomo Fujita. He's a big influence of mine in regards to this technique and other rhythmic techniques. And pretty much what this video is going to cover is just foundations to slapping and popping. Basically, a pattern that I use a lot when I'm doing it, and I just mix and match. So that's what we're going to cover. So without further ado, let's get to the lesson. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to look at is right hand technique. The right hand is the one that's the percussive hand, really. Your left hand, in terms of normal guitar technique, doesn't really change. It's things you normally do already. So when I'm striking, we're just going to stick with the open E string too. When I'm striking, I'm hitting with the bone here at the joint. That's what I'm hitting with. And when I hit, I don't hit really hard because I don't want to have too big of a recoil. It's simple physics. If I hit too hard, string, causes my hand to go flying back, and then I can't get back into it rather quickly. Same idea with, like, if you pick really fast, you want very minimal movement. So the first movement is, like I said, we slap on that low E string, just enough to get going. And then the next technique is with the left hand, which is muting. We mute just enough to get a kind of sound. Now, some guys get a little bit more advanced and they mute with the individual fingers to get even more percussive sound. I don't really do that. I haven't really delved very deep into that, but for now you could just. So the two movements together, we have slap mute, slap mute. Okay, I'm hanging at the 5th fret here, and I got my finger ready for the D note there on the A string. So slap mute, right? So the next movement, we're going back to our right hand, is what I call strike, which is basically you come down on the string. You're not slapping, but you're muted, and then you come down on the string, and you're preparing to pop the note right there. You kind of get ready. It's like a preparation, really. So those three movements together sound like this. Hit, mute. Again. Okay, so slap, mute, strike. And then we have one more movement It's not a very long lesson at all. And that's the popping movement, which presses down the 5th fret of the A string. And I'll just hammer on or something like that. Same idea though with the slapping is that you don't want to be doing that stuff. You just want that sort of idea. So putting those together, we really slowly we have hit, mute, strike, pop. Hit, mute, strike, pop. Yeah. And that's really it. Now, you can do other things to be more creative, mix and match it. You can pop it. You know, just play around with it. If you have a trem arm, I like to do this too sometimes. Like I'll slap and then do a gargle or something like that. Or something like that. It's heard better on the higher strings. Something like that. So, just one more time to put it all together, kind of have it together, is that we have slap, mute, strike, pop. Slap, mute, strike, pop. And from there you just mix and match. And if you have any questions, you know, please find me on Facebook, Instagram. Links for all that will be there. Comments in the YouTube video below. Comments on wherever else I post this. And I thank you very much. If you want any other lessons, such as a chordal lesson, getting shapes under the fingers, picking, stuff like that, please let me know. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Thanks.